All right. Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. So to see you all again. I am Liz Philippone, and thank you for listening in on this live stream or the recording of this live stream. Why working harder isn't working anymore. Yes. If you are watching from my YouTube channel, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. And of course, if you are watching from my private Facebook group, Mindfully Fit for Life, hello everyone. And if this is your first time listening to me, I am Liz Philippone, and I help people stay strong, confident, and independent by combining evidence-based training with mindful movement and nervous system support. I'm a multi-certified fitness and yoga professional. I specialize in strength, mobility, and corrective exercise for midlife and older adults. My approach focuses on building resilience, not perfection, so clients can move better, reduce pain, and continue doing what they love for years to come. Because I want to do what I want to do and love to do for years to come as well. So that is my spiel there. And thank you so much for watching this live stream. Why working harder isn't working anymore. It's the missing link between stress, recovery, and strength after 45, right? Because what happens when we get into our 40s, especially after 45 and getting into our 50s? What happens? Yeah. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but your body just isn't responding the same way? Throw me a yes, throw me a no, maybe, yeah. I just wanted to start with that question because sometimes we put more effort in, but then we get less results. We feel tired instead of energized. Okay, we're doing all these things that we normally do. We think we're doing all the right things, right? Getting the exercise, eating well, drinking water, supplementation, right? All of these good things, right? Walking 10,000 steps, but we feel tired instead of energized. Maybe that stiffness in our body still lingers. And maybe just our motivation is dropping too because of various things happening, right? So I'm just doing a little, hi Liz, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining this live stream. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. Okay, so we're gonna get started on this topic. And again, I appreciate you all being here. And, you know, after we turn 45 and years beyond that, right? If you are years beyond 45, that's totally fine. But your body doesn't need more stress. It needs more support. It needs more recovery time. And this is what I'm starting to see in certain clients I train at the gym. All right, at this the small boutique gym that I work at part-time, and even just the clients I see here at my home and even at the senior center in my town. I'm starting to instill what recovery means. Okay, let's get into this. So what is actually happening? Okay, your body is balancing more behind the scenes. You can't see it, you can't feel it, right? You're just doing your everyday thing that you normally do, okay? So, but your body behind the scenes internally is doing a lot more behind the scenes. And of course, it changes as we get older, especially with hormones. We have hormonal shifts, daily life stress, as well as global stress, right? We're living in a very stressful time right now. And your body's recovery capacity is changing. Okay, it's trying to recover, but it can't because we're not doing anything to really let ourselves chill, right? And our nervous system is just loaded, overloaded. I'm just going to say that it's overloaded. So your body is constantly asking, am I safe to recover now? Or do I need to stay on high alert? I'm going to say that again. So it's your body asking, am I safe to recover right now, or do I need to stay on high alert? So to reframe that a little bit for you is, if your system stays in go mode all the time, it will prioritize protection over progress. I'm going to say that again. If your system stays in go mode all the time, it will prioritize protection over progress. And there was a time, and I know I've shared this in other live streams, but I did overtrain. I was like working out every single day. I had maybe one day of recovery, which all I saw was as, oh, I'm just going to stretch today, like yoga, right? I'm just going to stretch today and do yoga because I got to keep doing these workouts so I gain my muscle and look good and, you know, be an example. Okay, that's kind of just a really quick synopsis of what I was going through with that whole, with that and not giving myself time to rest. I was in that mode, So let me just break this down. This is the core topic I'm going to talk about, is the nervous system connection. And I know sometimes that might be a little confusing or triggering for some people, right? Everybody's different, but I think it's a very important thing to bring up. So just to break it down, unpack it a little bit in simple terms, is I talk about go mode. That's your sympathetic state, your sympathetic nervous system. So your nervous system is your central, it's your brain, you're in all the connections that come out of the spine, right? The nerves that all connect to all the various organ systems and processes in the body, okay? So when we are in go mode, sympathetic state, that's where cortisol shoots up, right? Because we got to get something done. It's high stress time. We got to go, right? One thing after another, right? We're pushing, we're rushing, we're high stress. It feels productive though, right? A lot of this sort of go mode, I will definitely sneak in a story with that. Go mode feels productive. We feel productive, but it's draining your body. And it might not drain your body, very quickly. The drain might happen later on, and whether that's months, years. Okay, it really depends on the person. And then it becomes harder to recover because there's just more tension in the body. When I lost my job at a local gym in 2019, a lot of things happened prior to that at the gym. Somebody, basically, I'm just going to say this really quick. Somebody dropped in the class, heart stopped. I had to do CPR and AED. Okay. So just right there, sympathetic, nervous system on, right? I'm on. Yeah. So that happened prior to losing my job. When that happened, to recover from something like that, I had no idea until I talked to a therapist like a month later, because I was just not getting better. You guys, just not getting better at all. Like I was just like on edge all the time. But it was like the week after that happened, this person ended up being okay. He is alive and well, thank God. I get the news that they're closing this gym down and I'm done. And then I'm like, okay, so now I have to find a job. Like, okay. That's basically how I was. I was like, okay, what? So I had no plan, nothing, because I couldn't even collect my thoughts, you guys. I could not collect my thoughts. So after losing that job, I was just in hustle mode because I decided I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not going to get another job with somebody because of that prior experience and the way that went down at that employment. I was kind of like done working for other people. I was like, I'm not working for another person. Again, that was my thing, right? But I do work for some people now. But yeah, I was just determined. I'm like, I'm doing this on my own, and I just thought I had to be in hustle mode, right, forever. And I was in hustle mode for a long time. And I didn't, and, things started to happen. I not only, things started to kind of break down in my body. And later on, I started to get injured and not recover properly. And then stuff with my relationships, like with my family and my husband, started to kind of go awry as well. I never gave my body, myself, recovery time, parasympathetic state, your parasympathetic nervous system, right? I talked about sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, shots of cortisol happening all the time, coming from your adrenals all the time. It's your stress hormone, right? It helps you get things done. It helps you get away from danger, right? But do we let ourselves go into recovery mode? All right, go into that parasympathetic state, the relaxation response. That is where healing takes place. Repair from injuries, stress and trauma, mental and physical, and then just that energy restoration. That's when all of that happens. It's when also your muscles can recover from a hard workout or, strenuous workout. And it's when your body actually adapts and gets stronger, gets more resilient. When we can let ourselves drop into that parasympathetic state. Animals know how to do this all the time. If you know my zebra story, if you ever read that book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers by Robert Sapolsky, that is the author, I believe. He explains how when a zebra outruns its predator, which is a lion or a tiger, one of those predators, it goes to a very safe, secluded space where it got away. It knows it got away. It's in a quiet, safe space, and it just basically drops, like it almost looks like it drops dead to the ground. And it's its way of just letting all that trauma go, all that stress go. And it recovers, shakes itself off a little bit, and then it rejoins its community, right? When do we do stuff like that? Yeah. Like never, right? Just going to say it. Some of us do. I'm definitely doing more of that myself. But strength in all realms, physical, mental, emotional, is built in recovery mode, not in constant go mode. Is this resonating with you guys? Even if you're watching the replay, please let me know in the comments. I'm just going to grab a quick sip of water. And I might even share in another live about my whole process with that, recovering from, just one hit after another. And I'm going to tell you, I had a hit with trauma last fall. I mean, it was like somebody trying to break into our home. Yeah, if you haven't heard that story, wait for that story. But it was like I was back in that go mode, right? On constantly. Okay. So why working harder backfires? Okay, working harder, right? We're just adding more stress, plain and simple. We're adding more stress to an already stressed system. It leads to fatigue. It leads to plateaus and frustration. Yeah, fatigue, plateaus, and frustration. The body can no longer adapt. It can't change because it's just stressed out, or there's inflammation. There is no rest mode. We need to rest, recover in order to change and adapt. Okay, Liz, thanks for your comment. Absolutely makes sense now. Awesome. Oh, I'm so happy. Great. Also, the body starts resisting instead of responding. That's where that protection kind of goes in play. I talked about that earlier, where the body just like is more guarded, more protective. That was me, and on many levels, where I didn't trust working with other people. Me collaborating with other people in my field, it didn't feel safe at all for me. It did not feel safe at all. And then slowing down, it was scary because I knew I'd have to feel the feels, right? I knew I'd have to feel the emotions kind of like all over again. So working harder will backfire because you're just adding more stress to the stress. You're going to get fatigued. You're going to plateau, where it's like if you're trying to lose weight, you're not going to lose weight anymore. You're not going to gain more strength, things like that. And you're going to get frustrated. And then the body's just going to resist instead of respond to the activity and things you are putting onto it. So, for example, you finish a workout and you're just drained out of your gourd, then energized. Okay, that is a signal right there. Okay, if you're feeling drained from your workouts every time, that's a signal right there. You need to look at that. So, to the next thing, what your body actually needs. You probably already know the answer, maybe. Do you? Do you want to share? You can share in the comments if you'd like. I always love the engagement. So we have to shift to some solutions here. All right. So number one is support recovery, not just the effort. Create some space. This is the big one. Create some space between your stressors. See, I didn't do that in 2019 after I lost my job. Okay. And then guess what? I got a new job and then COVID happened. That was not fun. But anyway, create space in between the stressors. Can you, after you're done with a certain stressor, anything you can do, go find some space, white space maybe, whether you just go and unplug, go into the woods somewhere, right? Just go into the woods, take a day and just like get into nature, okay? If that's not your thing, maybe getting together with some friends and doing a friend activity that is going to nurture you. Maybe it's getting together with family. Maybe it's just having a day to yourself. Like sometimes I literally like to just go to like some kind of restaurant, like a coffee shop or something, and buy like breakfast for myself and just sit there and read a book or something like that. You know, just doing something alone sometimes helps me recharge. Maybe it's getting a massage. Maybe it's just sitting in silence and quiet, which I know can be uncomfortable, but it's so beneficial. Another one is include slower intentional movement. That's one of the things that I do. And I do a lot more. My strength training days have huge spaces in between them. I used to do strength training like every day, almost every day, different muscle groups, of course. So I didn't overtrain, but I used to do it like 4 days a week. And then it started to reduce because I was getting hurt from that routine. I wasn't giving myself, on those off days, I really wasn't giving myself proper recovery time. And for me, it's like doing foam rolling, mobility work, right? Whether that's yoga, but my yoga now is slow. And I teach slower now too with my yoga classes. So you got to include that slower, more intentional movement just to let everything like stretch, heal, circulate, all that stuff. And then, of course, I talked about mobility, stretching, and breath work. Okay, this is going to go into nervous system support. Okay, and with the mobility, stretching, and breath work, those three things, It releases tension. It improves circulation. It signals safety to the body. Okay, it literally tells the body it's safe to slow down. Yeah, you don't have to resist anymore. You can actually respond more to the work that's going on here. It helps your body shift out of go mode. And I'm going to say your mind too. It's a mind body thing, right? For me, it was all in my head. I have to go, I have to go, I have to go. And for me, it was just going was a way to distract myself away from all the stuff that didn't feel good, right? After I lost my job, like the anger, I was very angry. I didn't realize how angry I was. And I shoved that down. I shoved that anger down. But then when I finally just like let myself be angry about that situation and angry at the people, just let myself be angry about the whole thing and angry at the people, right? I could heal a little bit more. And then it was more like, okay, let's let go of this sadness, right? Because anger and sadness always go hand in hand. I know that. Whenever I get angry, it's because I'm sad. I know that about myself. When I get angry, it's because I'm really sad and distraught over something, like my feelings were hurt, or it's just, yeah, I don't know, like it goes with grief too. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, we got some comments. So you felt that way yesterday and drained. That's what Liz said. Yeah, and I felt drained yesterday too. FYI, there was a full moon yesterday. Yes, that can drain me too. But yeah, sometimes we have to really check in and be like, okay, why am I so drained right now? I thought that thing was going to energize me. It's doing the opposite. So this is where slowing down becomes very powerful. It's not a passive thing, a lazy thing. It's actually, this is where slowing down can really help us recover better. So what are some simple practices? I'm not going to demo anything. And maybe I will a little bit, but slow breathing. I'm just going to bring up breath work for a moment because the last little mini program I did, my 7-day Foundation First series, I included the breath work into that video series, and man, the response I got from that. One woman told me, and she's a student of mine, she started doing more the breath work. We breathe into our rib cage, so more diaphragmatic breathing. We breathe into the rib cage, not just the front, but the sides and the back, right? And it's a practice, right? And it's just breath work. You're just pushing the breath down to relax, to kick in that parasympathetic nervous system. She said she had been experiencing acid reflux before doing this breath work, and when she started practicing the breath work, it calmed down and eventually went away because she was doing this breath work. And I was like, wow, your system was stressed, or your system, whatever it was, right? Maybe it was something you ate, and nothing was processing. Sometimes, our body reacts to food and drinks and whatever it was, right? I didn't ask her, do you have stress going on in your life? That's not my job, right? It is. I mean, sometimes I do ask that question, but I'm not a therapist, but I do ask people if they have stress in their lives, because that can definitely be a culprit of why they're not reaching their goals. But she said that it helped her acid reflux. I was amazed at that. So she's doing that for sure. You can do little neck rolls, things like that. But slowing it down. So let's just do this really quick. If you can't do this right now, it's okay. You can do it later. I'm just going to give you a quick demo. This is called 3D breath work. You can lay down and do this. You can sit where you are. You can stand. You're just going to bring your hands to the front of your rib cage. Have your feet on the floor. Okay, you have a nice long spine, relaxed shoulders. And you're going to take a deep breath down into the front of your rib cage. And let that go. And breathe into the front of the rib cage. And let that go. And then bring your hands anywhere to the sides. Take an inhale to the sides, right and left. So breathing out, make sure you're relaxing your shoulders. You're not tensing here or in your jaw. Breathe out into the right and left. And out. Now the back. If you can't reach, that's okay. Take an inhale into the back of your rib cage. Exhale. Isn't it hard to breathe back there? Do it again. Inhale into the back. Exhale. Now can you breathe into all sides? One more time. And then let that go. So I know that was quick. You do want to give yourself time. And the first time, if you didn't feel anything, it's okay. Believe me, it takes practice. But just by doing that exercise, focusing on your breath, what was your mind doing? Where was its focus? Like you weren't thinking about anything else, right? You were just focusing on, let's bring some air into my rib cage, right? That's the other great thing about breath work is it takes you out of your head. Okay? Very important there. We're in here too much, right? And I get it. The news is terrible. We're on social media. We have just things coming at us all the time, right? Sometimes just breath work brings us back to home. All right. So this is what supports your system. It's not just your muscles, right? I talk a lot about muscle health, very important, but this work, deregulating your nervous system, is very important. So let me just recap here. You're not doing anything wrong, okay? If you're doing all these good things, right? You're doing your best to get exercise, eat the right foods, drink your water, sleep, right? All those things that we really want to do well. You know, you're not doing anything wrong. Your body isn't broken. It's adapting to stress, right? The stress that is just happening probably more than we think. And the goal here isn't to do more, it's to support your body better. I'm not saying do less, right? Sometimes we have to do what we have to do, right? I have a lot of things going on too, but how can I support my body and my mind better? Okay, so working smarter starts with supporting your nervous system. And this is what I teach in my 12-week program. I do. We start with this posture, breath work. Like, let's chill out. Let's hang back for a second here, right? Okay. So to end this lovely training, if this is resonating with you, all right, and you're just realizing some things, your body might need a little bit more support instead of more pushing, right? Because that's all you've been pushing yourself, right? And we're coming into spring, right? We're coming out of winter, right? Where in the spring we want to do, right? We kind of come out of the winter and the darkness and the cold, and we just want to dive right in, right? If some of you remember, I did a program called Nervous System Reboot. It was called something like that. I think I called it something else, but it's basically called Nervous System, Rebooting Your Nervous System. It's simple daily movements. It's designed to calm your nervous system, to calm your all systems in the body. And it helps you feel more steady, energized, and in control of your day and your tasks. So the focus of this is less tension, better recovery, more energy, and more confidence in your body and in what you do. So this is about resetting your system so everything else you're doing actually works better. Does this make sense? So I am going to reactivate this program this spring. It may happen the end of this month. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it at the end of this month. What is the date here? April Can you believe it's April 2nd, everybody? I know I'm digressing right now. But let's unpack this, or not let's unpack this. Let's do this. Like, I'm ready to do this April 13th. Look at me scheduling this right now with all of you. I don't really care. So April 13th, it is. It's a 5-day program. So, oh, I don't know. You know, it's like this full moon sometimes just makes me go in different directions. And maybe I need to do this program as well. But anyway, it may not be April 13th. Let's do this. If you want to get on the wait list for this, comment reset. Comment reset right now. Comment it on my live here on YouTube, in my Facebook group, and I will message you details, because it was a great turnout last year. I had done 2 of them, and people, I mean, the testimonials I got, people really said that they just felt more grounded, more calm, even in the stressful situations. And the breath work, the intentional movement that they were doing, the little exercises I gave them to do, really helped center them. And that is my goal. That is my goal with this little mini 5-day program. So comment reset and I will get in touch with you. All right, everyone, that's all I have. That's all the time I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon. All right, thank you.